Minister of Agriculture John Steenhuisen says government will embark on a massive vaccination program in order to curb the spread of foot and mouth disease. The minister held a meeting with AmaZulu King Misuzulu Zwelithini in KwaNongoma in order to discuss some plans to stop the current spread of the disease. SABC News reporter Simphiwe Makhanya has more on the story.
Well, thank you very much. The Minister responsible for Agriculture, Mr. John Steenhuisen, has just concluded a meeting with the AmaZulu King Misuzulu Zwelithini to really reflect on the challenge that is facing the province of KwaZulu-Natal when you talk about the issue of foot and mouth disease and, of course, other issues that are affecting the agricultural sector. Let's now welcome the Minister himself to get a sense, really, of what the meeting was about and also what are some of the outcomes and recommendations from the meeting. Thank you so much for your time, Minister.
Thank you so much. And firstly, let me say it was a huge honor to be able to interact with His Majesty the King. Obviously, the big topic today was foot and mouth. We're obviously trying on a national level to get foot and mouth disease under control in the country because of its hugely negative effect on our ability to export livestock and export meat products to other countries. And so we're on a big mission now to get it under control. Obviously, KwaZulu-Natal has always been a hotspot area because of the endemic nature of foot and mouth with buffalo. But it was to give His Majesty the King a briefing about where the disease is, but also some of the measures that we're going to be implementing to not only bring it under control, but also to ensure that those people who are in foot and mouth areas, management areas, are able to still get value for the cattle. And that's why we had the red meat industry body here today with Mr. Deerwold Olivia, who was putting on the table some ideas about how we could make sure that the value chain is able to include people from this particular area. So we're going to be doing vaccinating, we're going to be quarantining and making sure that people are able to get. I want to make it very clear, foot and mouth disease has nothing whatsoever to do with hand, foot and mouth disease that's in humans. There's no ways that foot and mouth disease can spread to humans. So red meat is completely safe to eat and communities should be able to eat it with absolute confidence.
Is KwaZulu-Natal the only hotspots or other provinces are affected as well? And if so, what measures are you going to be putting in place to address this issue?
So obviously we have other hotspot areas. The Eastern Cape, there's been a big dairy outbreak in the dairy section of the Eastern Cape, and it's caused huge economic harm there, which is exactly why we have to get it under control. And of course Limpopo is always like KwaZulu-Natal because of the game parks there. And the nature of the buffalo there, it is an endemic area there as well. But it doesn't mean that because you have endemic areas that you can't still control the disease. And that's what we're looking at doing here. We're going to vaccinate, we're going to isolate, and we're going to quarantine. And that will then create more opportunities for us to keep it in these particular areas, but then also in those particular areas make sure that you unlock value for livestock farmers in that area. And that's why the RMIS is with me here today as well.
Thank you so much for your time, Minister.
Thank you so much.
That is Minister responsible for Agriculture, Minister John Steenhuisen. It's back to you in Johannesburg.